Today in YouTuber News, quick bites. Ethan Klein faces backlash over James Charles comments. Jake Paul reckons Austin McBroom's company might go bankrupt. And Tana Mojo responds to allegations of littering on a Hawaiian beach. Shocking. I'm Benedict Townsend and this is YouTuber News, quick bites. All your YouTube news in bite-sized chunks. Our first story, Ethan Klein is facing a backlash after comments he made about a photo of James Charles posing in an arcade where he also has his flies undone. Following a 3-month hiatus after allegations of child grooming from multiple people, James has slowly been re-entering online society. He posted, and then of course famously deleted, an apology video, and then he followed that up with a video saying he wouldn't just be coming back and carrying on like nothing happened. And since then, he's of course come back and started carrying on like nothing's happened. He's posted a video of himself baking cookies, and he's tried out some TikTok makeup hacks, and generally just been like, hey guys, don't really remember why I left, let's all just move on. Now, when the allegations first became public, Ethan and former podcast co-host Trisha Paytas elevated the alleged victims' voices and their stories via their popular podcast Frenemies. Remember Frenemies? And they certainly haven't minced their words on their opinion of James over the last 4 months, as we've covered on this very show. However, fans have now started calling Ethan out and criticized him for, quote, reaching after a recent tweet captioning an Instagram photo of James posing in an arcade. So it's James Charles in an arcade, leaning against a machine, and his flies are open. And Ethan tweeted, quote, James Charles is repairing his image of being a predator of young boys by hanging out in an arcade where young boys frequent with his fly down. Now, one Twitter user said, quote, he's a kid. What's wrong with going to the arcade? Whose fly hasn't been down by accident? This seems like a stretch. Or are you reaching here? Probably. While another person commented, quote, or maybe, hear me out, just maybe, he likes video games. Or I would think the third, probably most likely option, they just went to an arcade to do a photo shoot because that's an interesting visual image. Like, he probably just went there, took a photo and left. But what do you think? Was Ethan reaching? Does he have a point? And speaking of reaching, we have reached the end of this first story. Our second story, Jake Paul has weighed in on the continuing controversies surrounding the recent YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing event, saying he thinks the company behind the event may go bankrupt. And we are 500,000 episodes into this show, and I still don't know whether it's controversies or controversies, and god damn it, I'm not going to learn. Allegedly part-owned by Austin McBroom, Social Gloves has faced mishap, to put it lightly, after mishap with the event, with many fighters claiming they're yet to be paid and the pay-per-view sales falling extremely short of the 500,000 projection, racking up just 136,000. Well, basically zero. Appearing on The Cruise Show, Jake said, quote, they thought they were going to sell a certain amount of pay-per-view views, and they didn't sell anywhere near that, and they spent way too much money putting the event on, so it probably has to bankrupt the company. To charge $60 with an audience that is technically very savvy, there was a ton of illegal streams happening for that fight, like hundreds and thousands of people watching it for free, because these are young kids who are going to find it on an illegal website. And the drama surrounding the company isn't over yet. Bryce Hall, who lost to Austin McBroom himself in the headline fight of the event, has claimed he's in legal talks with Social Gloves regarding his alleged $5 million payment. So we'll keep you updated as the story unfolds. And finally, because it's a slow news day, and we make sure to cover all the important stories here on YouTuber News, here's a story about Tana Mojo being under fire for allegedly littering on a Hawaiian beach. Oh my goodness. And you can tell it's a really slow news day because I also covered this on the YouTuber News podcast this week. In a photo posted to Twitter, a blow-up mattress and several empty bottles can be seen left on a dark beach with the caption, quote, influencers, brackets Tana, left choke trash on beach after partying all day. The disrespect. This makes me so sad. And in a reply to Tana, another Twitter user said, quote, I'm assuming this is why you left our beaches a mess and didn't bother to clean up your trash. Now, Tana herself has responded to the allegations, claiming that they had left the items and the litter there temporarily while they were going to get snacks, and calling the person who took the photo weird and creepy. She claims they were sleeping on the beach all night, so the stuff was left there, they left, but then came back. So, you know, we'll make sure to update you on this explosive story as it unfolds. Beachgate is not going anywhere. And as I mentioned before, if you want to hear an even more in-depth look into this story and jokey look into this story, make sure to check out the latest episode of the YouTuber News podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. There's also a numbers segment this week, so you can't go wrong. But that's all for today. I'll be back on Friday for a full-fat episode of YouTuber News, and don't forget to miss Don't forget to piss. And don't miss the newest episode of the podcast, which comes out this very day. Please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to us and the channel. And don't forget to comment down below because we love to read all those lovely comments as long as they're positive. Goodbye!